Seca is always close racing, so it's good for the fans, a little nerve-wracking for us and the crew, but yeah, we're just gonna see what happens. I was sitting down before this trying to come up with some kind of plan, but I think we're just gonna go out and put our heads down those first couple laps and see where we end up, and should be 14 laps of fun.
Where do you think you're strongest on this track?
We're honestly all pretty dead even. I think that last segment, I seemed like I figured out a little bit of something in qualifying, but the race is always a little bit different, so we'll see what happens.
And of course, if you're leading, then they're figuring out what you're doing, so things can change up as it unfolds. Have a great run, man.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Corey Alexander up front. We're just going to kind of do a little wander here. I'm going to sneak over and have a quick chat here with the number 69 of Hayden. Where'd he go? Oh, all right. Well, this is good. Hey, Hayden, let me grab you here real quick. Again, fabulous run in qualifying. The top three so close, and that has to bring big smiles here, knowing that you're going into this one and you got a real shot at it.
Yeah, it's making it fun. Like Corey said, it's a little nerve-wracking for us, but you know, the racing is going to be really close. This place always kind of has that. So yeah, I'm just out here trying to have fun. The disrupt racing for us, our guys are Infinity Fall Protection. Everybody's doing an awesome job, and these boys are working their tails off for me this weekend. So I'm hoping that we can at least get it up on the box and make a good run, have a good showing, give the fans a good race to watch. So you know, I know we like to dice it up a little bit, so we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a long race, so we're just out here having fun.
You know, you mentioned these guys, Hayden. Obviously, people sometimes tend to forget a little bit. This is a team sport, and you're out there riding it, but they're giving you a bike that's fast and safe and giving you confidence.
Oh yeah. The riders are the ones doing the least amount of work all weekend. So these guys behind the scenes, they're the ones that really get all the credit, and you know, their faces and everything aren't seen like ours are, but they're the ones that make the show happen.
Absolutely. Well, good luck in this one. Have a lot of fun.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Beautiful day of racing. I'm going to change it up on my camera guy here. I'm going to grab Bryce real fast here. Right over here, my friend. Hey, Bryce, you're splitting these two guys up front. Look at that smile right away. Obviously, you're feeling pretty optimistic about this. Great run in qualifying.
Yeah, you know, we're out here to have a good time, and who's not happy to be here on the front row? So, you know, this is one of the fastest times I've done here at Laguna. These Corey and Hayden, I know we're going to have a good battle for all 14 laps. I know it's going to be a good race, so we're just going to try to get a good start and see where we slot in and, you know, see what we can do. Just got to thank the whole BPR team for being out here for this one-off race for us. It's awesome to be able to show, you know, and put a bike up front. So. Well,
and that's the amazing thing. One-off race for you. You're center of the front row. Opportunity to send some messages here, huh?
Yeah, that's the plan. So.
Well, get after it. Send that message well. We want to see you back at a lot more.
Thank you. Yeah.
Great run here. All right, we're going to track down here. I want to stop by, see if I can talk to Travis Wyman here. Going to sneak in here. Travis a little bit back in the back, but not that far back, middle of the second row. But the question that I have for you, Travis, is you just came off of that King of the Baggers challenge and had that problem early. You could see the frustration there. Now you got to put that behind you and get your head into this one on a different bike and maybe a little frustrated. How do you work through that?
Just flip a switch, you know. I know it seems more complicated than that, but I think I've got it pretty dialed at this point. The guys at Tyler Cycle put a good bike under me. We missed a little bit of time this morning in Q2, but I think we'll be right there in the front group for the battle.
And this track being a relatively short track, it just compresses everything, doesn't it? So the times are a lot closer, the battles tend to be a lot more intense and fierce, and with all the undulations and everything, the blind approaches, this place is magic.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I've been racing here for, 15 years now. And it's one of those tracks where it's like if you got clear track, you can run some good lap times, but when it comes to passing, it kind of holds the group up, which makes for good racing for the fans. So we'll get a good start and see what happens.
All right, looking forward to watching it. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right, well, I think they're right. I think this is going to be an absolutely fascinating run here. Let's sneak over here, see if we can have a quick chat with Andy DeBrino as we're at the 3-minute board. So, Andy, I'll tell you, we've been watching you now for a couple of years here. You know, front runner, you clearly love running on this track, and you got an opportunity here, but you're back in the third row. What do you have to do?
I just got to get the best start I can. Honestly, I'd rather be in this spot than 6th on the second row because I got a better line at turn 1. So I'm just going to aim for Corey in front of me and hope for the best.
Just float it around the outside and see where you slot in at the exit of 2?
Yeah, well, I get good starts, so, you know, I'm going to get a good launch. It just depends on where these bikes in front of me go. So if I find a hole, I'm going to go in there, and I feel like I got the pace. We had some struggles so far this weekend on the bike, but I feel really good, so I'm just going to do the best I can, and if I can get a good start, I think I could be there.
Oh, that best is very good, and those starts are magic. Good luck. Have a good run, man. Going to have a fun one here. Let's see who else we might be able to check in with here. Pop around the corner here and check in with Brandon Posh, if I might, Brandon. And first of all, want to say a big thank you on behalf of all of the announcers for wearing that helmet. Makes you easy to pick out here. Got a little work to do from where you're starting here. What do you think your chances are?
Yeah, honestly, this is the best probably qualifying I've been closest times-wise. So for me, I just want to get in that group, learn something from them front boys, and try to see where we wind up at the end, hopefully a little bit farther up than where we're starting.
Yeah, that big win, obviously, at the Daytona 200, but this is a very different track, obviously. Incredibly short, fast, furious, and obviously the conditions are absolutely perfect. Is this just time to put the head down and go for 14?
Yeah, it's always time to put the head down and go for it, but yeah, I don't know, perfect conditions, let's see what we can do.
How much do you have to take care of these tires on a run like this?
I don't know, I think about that at the end when they're gone.
Should run them right off the tires. Hope by that time, when everything fails, you're up on top of the box. I love the approach. Tell you what, these guys are phenomenal. That's going to wrap it up from down here in the grid. As we're at 1 minute, we're going to clear. Get ready to go. Back to you guys up in the booth.
Thanks, Greg. Great work. Roger, seemingly security is a bit lax. That was a certain Mr. Shane Byrne on the grid down there, multiple British champion, World Superbike race winner. How the hell did he blag a pass? What is going on?
I thought I seen him at Starbucks this morning, but I wasn't sure, so I had to go to the old trusty Instagram, and sure enough, it was him. Yeah, absolutely. Of course, he's on the grid there with Brandon Pash. Definitely some words of advice. Brandon could learn a lot from Shaky, for sure. Oh, yeah, especially on how to ride a 1000 and all the advice that you know, he can get right now. He really needs it, and you can tell it's starting to show off this weekend because this is the closest we've seen Brandon to the front.
MotoAmerica Stock 1000 coverage is sponsored by Yuasa Battery. It starts with us. By Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. And by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on your car or motorcycle insurance.
One of the most picturesque, iconic circuits in the world. The warm-up lap for the Yuasa Stock 1000 race gets underway. This is round 6 of the MotoAmerica Championship. We're into the second half of the season, Roger. Riders on the warm-up lap. No mistakes by anybody this time around. We're going to go green in a little under 90 seconds time. Here's a look then at how they will line up. Corey Alexander, the championship leader, will start from the front row of the grid in pole position. Bryce Prince, Rog, with nothing to lose from the middle of row 1. Hayden Gillam on position number 3. The two main title protagonists, first and third, but Travis Wyman, he won here last year and he starts in the 5th position. The 3 major rivals are right in the mix. Yeah, all the top 3 guys. I mean, even though right in the top 4 or 5 in points, all qualified really well. You go down, Nolan Lampkin there, 12th, Hunter Dunham, 11th, Jeremy Coffey qualifying again in the top 10. Yeah, good to see Jeremy Coffey. We are just being advised that unfortunately Stephen Shakespeare, the number 72, will not be taking his position on the grid. He has been wheeled off the grid, a technical issue. We do not know what or why, but the 72 of Stephen Shakespeare, who should have started in 21st place with a good chance of some points, will not get to race, which is a big shame for him. Only one race this weekend. Yeah, only one race, so that's really unfortunate for him, but hopefully it's not anything too major, and he'll be back at Brainerd. Yep, absolutely. And just look at this. So many riders on the grid. In fact, all the classes this year absolutely stacked. But 34 riders have qualified for this 14-lap race. We're going to get 33 that will actually take the start. 11 rows, Roger. It's a stacked grid. And there is the 72. You can see obviously some issues. There is Justin Dominguez, the team principal. And you can see the frustration. Unfortunately, Shakespeare will not start. And, you know, if he can get it started now, I mean, he'll just have to start from pit lane
gain and be last, or you just keep working on it. We've seen some red flags happen, and you never know what might happen in the beginning of this race. After a couple laps, could be a red flag, and do a complete restart and get back in it. So you just got to keep working until you know it's not possible.
Absolutely. Corey Alexander, 4 times a race winner this year, the winner of the last 2 races at the Ridge, looking to make it a hat-trick of wins on the bounce. That will be the first time in his professional career that he's done that in Stock 1000. Hayden Gillum, the early championship leader, looking to regain that number 1 spot. Travis Wyman, the winner from last year, also looking for a good start. Lights are on red. Engage the gear. Oh, that was a great start from Corey Alexander. He judged that perfectly, but it's Geoff May from the outside of row number 2, riding injured. Nobody told Geoff May that with a broken collarbone and a broken wrist, you can't be P2 into turn 1.
No, and a terrible start for Hayden Gillum. I mean, I'm not sure if he's still inside the top 10. Andy DeBrino said he would get a good start from where he's at, always up to 4th, and Bryce Prince there in 3rd. Yeah, everybody makes it through turn 1 and turn 2, the safety car at the back of the field, but it is Corey Alexander doing what he did at the Ridge, leading from the front. Geoff May in a really strong position, and for Geoff May, who's riding injured, that's the perfect start. Get a good start, get out of trouble, don't get bashed about by anybody, settle into a rhythm, and let's salvage as many points as we can. Yeah, and try to follow Corey as long as possible and see if he can get a gap from the guys behind him and just have a good ride. And Corey's got a great start, and he's really done a good job this year, these first couple laps of these races. Usually, in the previous years, he was always really strong at the end of the races. Now he's got it figured out where he's really strong at the beginning and the end, and that's what's making him so tough to beat this year. Through the corkscrew for the first time. There's a glimpse of the 69 Hayden Gillum. As you said, not the best start. He's probably worked his way through into maybe 6th or 7th position, sandwiched between, I think, Brandon Parsh and Ezra Bobier. Cam Bobier is here this weekend watching his brother in action as they come through Ready Curve down through turn 10 to complete lap number 1. Look at the advantage already of Corey Alexander, and this is how you win races from the front. Break them on the opening lap, and that's at least a 3/4 of a second, if not more, advantage at the end of lap 1. Yeah, I'd say definitely close to a second, 1.3. So that's a nice gap right away. And for him, just get away, do your own race. He doesn't have to worry about battling with somebody else. Get into his own rhythm. We've seen him in practice and qualifying, putting in a lot of fast laps. Geoff May hanging on in 2nd position, but we know he's riding in pain. A little glimpse of the orange flash in the back of the picture. Looked like Hayden Gillum was making a move for 4th or 5th. Did he make it through? He did not. DeBrino still hanging on. It's going to get difficult now for Hayden Gillum. These guys are not slouches. It's not difficult. It's not difficult to pass maybe a guy that's 5 or 6 seconds off the pace. But these guys are all lapping within a couple of tenths. It's going to be hard for Hayden now to catch, let alone get past Corey Alexander. Yeah, I mean, from where he's at, he's already spotted Corey almost 3 seconds that very first lap. So that's going to be hard to make up as close as they are. Here's a look back at the start. Looks like a really good engagement from Corey Alexander. A rocket ship start for Geoff May. I hope he didn't jump it because he timed it perfectly. Through the corkscrew. Bryce Prince still hanging on in that 3rd position. Then it is Travis Wyman. We've seen Wyman come good at the end of the race. He said that even at the last round at the Ridge, didn't he? Also at Road America. Just takes a lap or 2 to get going, and he's certainly going to be as quick as Corey as this race progresses. Bryce Prince thinks about making a move, no way through. And Geoff has kind of been really good beginning of the races, and toward the end, kind of race setup goes off a little bit, especially if he's injured. It's going to be tough. So we can see these guys going to be a big battle, I think, through 2nd through 6th. The advantage now goes up to 2.3 seconds, a 1:25.344, and that is not going to be a million miles away from circuit records in race conditions, Roger. No, not at all. Actually, the race record is a 25.2 for Stock 1000. Josh Herron holds it. Wow, so he's virtually matched it on his first flying lap. That is impressive stuff from Corey Alexander, the championship leader, who is looking, as I said at the top of this broadcast, to make it 3 professional Stock 1000 wins on the bounce. He's never done that in his career. What a season Titlers are having, and it could get even better if Travis Wyman can find a way past Bryce Prince and Geoff May. It could be another Titlers 1-2. Long way to go, though. Yeah, long ways to go. Last race they got both of them on the podium, 1st and 2nd. Couldn't get much better than that. And like you said, we've seen Travis win this race last year, so he's definitely going to have the pace as the race goes on. Just behind this battle for 2nd, we can see Andy DeBrino and Hayden Gillum now just closing in a little bit on the back of this group. Bryce Prince thinking about making a move, and that's aggressive. Oh, and he does make it. That's a nice move. he set that up coming down the corkscrew, got a good run out of there, had himself on the inside in the rainy curve.
Yeah, and I wonder now whether we're going to see a number of riders, and I mean this not disrespectfully to Geoff May, but he's not riding full fit. He's going to be hurting. He's not going to be riding and being able to muscle that bike as much around as he wanted to. It could just be a matter of time now before these guys find a way through. But May's not giving up. He tries to come back around the outside. Wants to prove me wrong, Roger.
Yeah, and there goes Hayden Gillum into turn 2, making the pass. Good little block pass there on Andy DeBrino.
Yeah, and you've got to do that because if you run wide, it's so easy at turn 2 for the other guy to come back underneath him as well.
And this track is pretty difficult to pass too, because there's not a lot of hard braking or long straightaways to really set your passes up. So that's one of the passes that you'll see here is exactly what Hayden did. And now he has some other guys he needs to try to do the same thing with Bryce getting in the second. He doesn't want to see this gap of 3 riders get too far in front of him.
Yeah, you're hearing us, of course, talking about what happened to Geoff May at the Ridge last time out. It was an incident that happened at the warm-up lap. And unfortunately for Geoff, he was the victim of another person's mistake going down in towards the chicane. We'll try and bring this to you just so you can have a little look at what we're talking about. I appreciate that not everybody has been watching MotoAmerica all season. But Roger, if they haven't been, where have they been? They're missing a great season. But a mistake by Jeremy Coffey. Here it is then, looking down into turn 1. This is a look back then at 2 weeks ago at the Ridge. Talk us through this from Geoff May's perspective.
Yeah, he's just way up the inside of the track there. And, Geoff May just had nowhere to go. And Jeremy Coffey did a club race the week before, and their first lap they don't use that chicane and just had a brain fart, and that happens in racing.
Yeah, and as you see, he was very quick to get back on the bike. He did salvage 5 or 6 points last time out, did Geoff May. They got the bike fixed, but then they found out he had a broken bone in his wrist, broken collarbone and other things, so he's riding injured. This is heroic. He's still fending off Travis Wyman. Hayden Gillum has now got through in front of DeBrino. DeBrino's still in touch. Ezra Bobia and Brandon Pash still not a million miles away. As ever, Rogers, Yuasa Stock 1000 providing great racing for the fight for second, because Corey Alexander has just disappeared. A 4-second lead now for Alexander. He is unstoppable once again.
Yeah, just pulling out a second a lap. And it looked like Travis Wyman really getting close. You can tell he's kind of running out of patience a little bit, wanting to make that pass. You can see Bryce Prince has now pulled out about a second on this group.
Looking for a way through into turn 6. You've got to be brave to pass there, and of course Travis Wyman will also not want to do anything stupid, because he knows if he gets it wrong and it's 0 points, he loses a bagful to Corey, who's sitting on 25. So you've got to be precise to make a pass. You can pass here pretty much every corner, but there's a few places where you can get it wrong.
Yeah, and here he goes another. That's an aggressive pass, but I mean, we've seen Bryce Prince make it a couple laps before, and I'm sure Travis seen that pass, and now thinks he's going to try the same thing. We'll see if he makes a move and breaks in turn 11.
Yeah, and of course it's going to be the load on the forearms for Geoff, isn't it, down there? That's why we're seeing him struggle there. Again, just on the brakes. As this race goes on, we're at the end of lap number 5 now, coming on to lap number 6. It is going to be quite difficult. And Geoff May comes straight back underneath him. He's fighting for everything that he's worth here.
Got a good run out of the last corners. I didn't know if Geoff was going to maintain or not, but now look, Travis has got to deal with Hayden. Made a good pass there in turn 2. Travis slipped up a little bit, and Hayden made an aggressive pass.
Yeah, and obviously for Geoff May, he's not necessarily thinking of the championship now, but he's got to fight for every single point. And really now, this is damaging the title assault of Hayden Gillum and Travis Wyman. The longer that he keeps bashing fairings with these guys, and again, they almost come side by side. Hard on the brakes now. Gillum goes through. Nice pass into 5. You see how wide Geoff May goes, going to try to come back underneath him. I just don't see a way past at turn 6 as they come up now towards turn 6. And now here comes Travis Wyman, and Wyman this time does get the move done.
Something looks weird with Geoff, bike just doesn't look as fast. You can see him kind of looking around. There's definitely a little bit of an issue, I think.
Yeah, he's not looking as comfortable as he did in the early part of this race. For sure, some of it will be physical, but you're absolutely right. Look at the gap. Yeah, and again. Oh, heartbreak. Heartbreak for the second race in a row. A technical issue for Geoff May. And, well, the punishment just doesn't fit the crime, does it? You cannot believe what we are seeing. Geoff May, who was riding out of his leathers with broken bones in his collarbone and his wrist. He was fighting for the podium, and you called it, Roger. You said the bike just didn't look right. Now he's going to try and salvage whatever points he can get.
Yeah, he's just going to keep going in case that there's a red flag, and maybe they can fix it. But you could just tell the way Hayden Gillum passed him on that straightaway. Travis Wyman passed him from 5 to 6. That's not a place where somebody usually makes a pass in the straightaway. And come down the corkscrew here, and you can see as he gets on the throttle, that doesn't go anywhere. And Andy DeBrino made a good pass. It could have been ugly.
Yeah, could have been. But Geoff, again, lots of experience, gets to the right-hand side. And what a shame. My heart goes out for him. Of course, we're pretty impartial in the commentary box, but you've got to feel for the guy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just all the effort that he puts in. And, you know, he's from Georgia to go to Washington, have the issue there. That wasn't his fault. Come to here and, you know, he was having such a strong season. We were bragging on him at the last race. He's the one who's had the most consistent, cleanest season so far. And then the last 2 races have been the opposite.
Yeah, he's still lapping in the 133s, so he's got a comfortable margin over the guys behind him. He may be able to salvage a point or two, and I guess, as you said, got to keep going. It's a long way to go. We're only on the half-distance lap. We're on lap number 7 of 14. We're looking at wildcard rider, a one-off ride for Bryce Prince. We're used to seeing him in years gone by in the Supersport Championship. Certainly seems to be able to ride anything. He was fast on the Supersport bike. He's in the front 2 rows of the grid in the Twins Cup race, which is coming up later on this afternoon. We'll be bringing that to you live here on MotoAmerica Live Plus. And currently in a 20 points position, the silver medal, 2nd place in Stock 1000.
Yeah, Hayden Gillum, you can tell though, just looking at the splits, is definitely closing up about just a little bit of laps. So, you know, Hayden, if he wants to try to, you know, only lose 5 points, he really needs to get going and see if he can get Bryce Prince here. The race is only halfway, so it's definitely still has the time.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on Geoff May. He has not come across the line, and Geoff May is in the pits. Geoff May is in the pits. He's called it a day. Whatever that problem was, it was terminal, and that could be the end of his championship challenge.
Yeah, it was already 38 points back. Now he's going to lose another 25, and, you know, just so disappointing, but that's just part of racing.
It is indeed. Ezra Bobier versus Brandon Pash. This is a battle that was ignited last time out at the Ridge Motorsports Park. And it's continuing here, and they're not too far behind DeBrino here. This is a good run and a nice progress from both of these guys.
Yeah, both of these guys. And also, honestly, Ezra was having some good rides at the Ridge last race, too, and just had some bad luck happen to him. So this is his home track, so it's glad to see him have such a good ride. And he's got a lot of friends and family here, and his brother. Yeah,
Ezra riding for the Moto Exotica team, Brandon Pash riding for the Altus Motorsport team. Both very capable teams, and there is Geoff May down there. And as ever, Greg is in there trying to get the scoop straight away. And they're looking at the bike. They're trying to work, because, again, if they can get back out and he's not more than 2 or 3 laps behind and they do red flag it and we get a restart, it would be a quick run. But he's running out of laps, but anything can happen.
Yeah, if he can get it fixed and there's a problem, then, you know, he'd be able to get back out there if there's a red flag.
Yeah, absolutely. Greg, you're down there. We can see you talking to Geoff. What is the news? Heartbreak for the 99.
All right, yeah, Geoff May down here right now in a bit of a debrief. Said he's willing to talk, but he's chatting with the crew, so we'll let them finish that up. He indicated to me that the clutch cable popped off, and that was the issue. Want to get in and have a chat with him. They're working on the bike. He's still sitting here, but they're trying to deal it up here. All right, let me sneak in here. Geoff, obviously dejection when you came in here. You told me off mic, clutch cable issue.
Yeah, the clutch cable popped off. We don't know how, but it popped off the engagement arm, and when that happened, the bike, the auto shifter, the auto blip, it won't work, and so it wouldn't downshift and it wouldn't upshift. So I was going to try to salvage it. I did another lap, and it was just dangerous. I was in the way, so I had to pull in.
Yeah, and I did a lot of speculation. You might not even make it here. It's been somewhat of a heroic effort to fight through the 2 injuries. How you feeling? I mean, this is a demanding physical track.
Yeah, I mean, it's insult to injury. All these left-handers here, turn 2 and the corkscrew are pretty painful, but you know, we're here. We're not going to give up. So you never know until you try. So we went out here. We've given it our best, and we're going to keep soldiering on.
Well, you certainly had some great one-lap speed. You were showing it in the race, and you know, go ice those things. Take care of it a little bit here. It was just a phenomenal effort, no question. But this track is a physical one. He's feeling it.
Yeah, and that's understandable. Of course, while you were talking there, Greg, on the other side of the screen, we were watching this titanic battle between Brandon Pash. He sized him up a couple of times, finally got it made. The shake of the head from Ezra Bobier. This isn't done. There's 5 laps to go. It's the closest battle on track. It's definitely worth watching.
Yeah, it's a good battle, and for both of these guys, they're having, I think, their best race of the year, and it's good to see them so close to the front. I mean, they can still see the podium right in front of them.
Yeah, interestingly, looking at the lap times of the top 4, Alexander, Prince, Gillum, Wyman, last lap 26.8 from all of them. But again, this race looks as though it was won on the opening lap. Corey Alexander getting the hammer down, 2 very, very quick laps, got a 2.5 second gap by lap number 3. And that's why he's been able to escape and just disappear. I mean, he's halfway back to San Francisco.
Yeah, and we've seen, you know, other guys in other classes that's won a lot. That's what they do. Jake Gagne does it in Superbike, and Corey's did a great job of that this year, of really getting going those first couple laps. And that way you don't get caught up in those battles, and you just ride your own race. You don't have to worry about your race strategy or somebody stuffing you or having to ride defensive. You can do your own pace, and, you know, getting a 1.3 second lead on that first lap is just, you know, it's awesome to see. And as a fan and you know, of the sport, I love seeing guys that can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we were talking yesterday on the broadcast, and I don't know if you saw on Twitter, I think we were tagged in a couple of tweets. We were talking about the riding style of Corey Alexander, that he's kind of legs and elbows and arms and looks a little bit wayward. And I said he reminds me of Loris Baz. A lot of people saying they reminded them of Ruben Zaus, just but with less crashes.
Yeah, definitely a lot less crashes. But for him, I think this year, just so comfortable and so much confidence he has in the bike. You know, he used to didn't seem, you know, be so aggressive and sliding the bike around as much as he is now. And you know, I think, like I said, it's just confidence, being more comfortable. And this is the fastest we've seen him this year. This is by far his best season.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And he's been a front runner in this championship for a number of years. He's been in the top 3 in the overall standings a couple of times, and certainly knows how to win races. In fact, if we look back last year, Roger, he was 3rd in the championship last year. He was 2nd the year before. He's never been out of the top 3. Is this the year? They say it comes in threes. 3, 2, 1. Well, 2, 3, 1. Is this the year that Corey gets the number 1 plate?
Well, he's definitely one of the title favorites. We knew that going into the season. And when he doesn't have an issue, he's always pretty consistently on the podium. And, you know, some of his weaknesses he's cleaned up this year. We've mentioned it a couple times already, how strong he used to be at the end of the races, but, you know, took a couple laps to get going in the beginning. And now all those weaknesses, he's improved them all, and now he's the guy to beat in Stock 1000.
2.5 laps to go then. Corey Alexander will extend his lead in the Yuasa Stock 1000 Championship from 9 to 17 points. Sorry, from 8 to 17 points. 8 plus 9 is 17, right?
I think so.
There we go. Yeah, long time.
In Kentucky it is.
Yeah, long time since I was at school. Hayden Gillum has not given up, though, has he, on this battle for 2nd position? He can see Bryce Prince ahead of him. Those extra 4 points would make a big difference for his championship, and there's still 2.5 laps to go. He can see him. Can he catch him?
He's 1.3 seconds back. You know, he's going to really make up a lot of time quick. And this is the thing with Hayden. You know, how hard do you want to push it these last 2 laps? You want to get those points, but you also don't want to hit the deck.
Yeah, absolutely, especially when your title rival's on the 25-pointer.
Yeah.
Through Rainy Curve down into turn 10. That gap is coming down. That's not 1.3 seconds now, is it? There's no way that is 1.3. He is going to have a little over 5 miles, or just under 5 miles to go. Look at him backing it in. The confidence is there. The question is, can he catch him? What's the gap? Oh, Bryce Prince takes a big long look over his shoulder, and he will have seen out of the peripheral vision that orange flash. He knows that he's coming. The gap comes down to 1.2.
He's going to have to start making up a little bit more than that.
Yeah, he pulled in a couple of tenths. If he gets another couple, that'll be down to 0.9. He's really got to find half a second on this lap,
yeah.
Minimum.
Actually, half a second the next 2 laps.
Next 2 laps,
Bryce Prince is a little bit wide there.
Yeah, and Bryce now knows that he's coming, doesn't he? He looked over his shoulder. And that's possibly one of the worst things you can do. But then, again, if you're looking at your pit board and you see that gap coming down from 2 seconds to 1.8 to 1.7 to 1.4, it's now 1.2, you want to know who's coming.
And I think Bryce has got a lot of experience, and he's only really given up a tenth a lap. And if you can kind of do that math in your head when you're out there, like, okay, there's 2 laps left. If I give up a tenth or 2 a lap, I'm still going to be okay. But you can see Hayden's not going to stop charging till the end.
The gap is down to 0.8 of a second as they come into the corkscrew. Hayden Gillum is giving this absolutely everything. Those 4 extra points could make the difference at the end of the championship. It is down to 0.8. We get the timing splits just a fraction before it appears on the television through Rainy Curve. Here is the race winner elect. A little over a lap to go. 3 wins on the bounce. The white flag is about to be shown. He's never won 3 on the bounce. 75 points from the last 75. That's a pretty impressive stat.
Really impressive run now. And these two guys, they're going to come into lappers on this lap, so they could, they could come into play if they hold up Bryce.
Oh, and it's down to 0.7 of a second then. Here comes Hayden Gillam, and that is not where you want to get the lappers. Here we go then through turn 2. This is not where he wants them. There's no blue flags waving yet. That's Zach Schumacher. And this is absolute disaster for Bryce Prince. He doesn't want these riders there. They still don't know he's there. Can he get through into turn 3 and 4? He picks them off. No, he doesn't. He doesn't pick them off. And Hayden Gillam is going to be grinning like a Cheshire cat. He's right on him, Roger.
And Hayden's going to pass this lapper into 5.
Hayden's going to let the brakes off. Oh, through on the inside. And there goes Hayden Gillam. Passing one of the retro liveried Kawasaki's. Hayden Gillam has definitely had the best run. Hayden Gillam's going to get through on the inside, and it's all to play for. Half a lap to go. He's in his wheel tracks, Roger. This is brilliant stuff.
Yeah, those lappers definitely came into play. And we've seen how strong Hayden's been on the brakes into this corkscrew, and I'm sure now, look at him close.
Oh, Bryce Prince is under real pressure. A little bit of a bobble there. No mistakes for Hayden Gillam. It's a perfect final lap at the moment through Rainy Curve. Down underneath the bridge. I think he's just a little bit too far.
Yeah, he's definitely a little too far back to try to make a lunge from there.
Nevertheless, he's not giving up. They come down into the final corner. Here comes your race winner. 75 points from the last 75. It's 3 wins on the bounce and an extended lead in the championship for Corey Alexander. We look back out of the final corner. Is it Bryce Prince or is it Hayden Gillam? It is Bryce Prince just by 0.3 of a second. Nicely done. We have 3 manufacturers on the podium. Travis Wyman crosses the line in 4th. I tell you what, that was exciting towards the end.
Yeah, that was a good race. Those lappers definitely came into play, and actually I thought the way they held up Bryce that, actually I thought Hayden was going to make a little bit bigger of a gain.
Yeah, absolutely. An extended lead then in the championship for the Titler's BMW. Corey Alexander wins again.
And Ezra, top 5, he ended up getting Brandon there toward the end of the race.
Yeah, that race that was raging from lights out to the flag. They separated just by 0.2 of a second, both of them in the top 6. There's confirmation, though, as he waves to the crowd. Corey Alexander on the BMW takes the win. The Yamaha of Bryce Prince. That's the first Yamaha podium of the season, Roger, in Stock 1000, and Suzuki in 3rd. Once again, as you said yesterday, and rightly so, the parity, the rules, Stock 1000, go to your local dealer, get a bike and race it. You can be on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the brands there, BMW, Yamaha, Suzuki, all in the top 3, and it's just so cool when you get to see all these different brands all on the podium and in the top 5.
Yeah, and of course we've had Kawasaki on the podium as well, last time out with Andy DeBrino, so every single manufacturer. And Corey Alexander, possibly one of the slowest slowdown laps ever, but thoroughly well deserved. The thousands of fans that are packed into the hillside here will have appreciated that. That was pure dominance from Corey Alexander, and he deserves those 25 points.
Yeah, he does. I mean, just as soon as the lights went out, he pretty much just, stomped his authority on the field and didn't leave much of a battle for anybody else. Didn't give them any hope after the 3rd lap. It was pretty much game over.
Into the corkscrew. Puts the number 1 up to the sky. He heads down through the corkscrew as we get a little look back then at some of the highlights. And are we going to get a burnout for the fans? We thought about it.
Yeah, probably wants to, but he's also got the Superbike race a little bit later too.
Yeah. Don't blow the motor till after that, right?
That's right.
Still pulling wheelies. Let's have a look back then at the Stock 1000 race. From the start, it was Geoff May that got the best start from row number 2. Great launch on that Honda, Roger. Almost thought about taking the lead, but it was a lights to flag win and a lights to flag opening lap lead for Corey Alexander.
Geoff being on the outside really was in a good spot, but you can see Corey, this is the first lap. That's halfway around. That's how much he opened that gap already. See Bryce Prince make a move on Geoff May pretty early, could see Corey getting away. Yeah,
then there was this lovely little block pass, and that's what you've got to do there. You don't want to run wide, don't give any advantage back. Hayden Gillam then starts to carve his way through the field. He goes again underneath like a knife through butter there on Travis Wyman. Then it was all eyes on Geoff May. Easy work for Geoff May. At this point, we didn't know he was suffering with a technical problem, but Roger, then this happened.
Yeah, come down the corkscrew. I mean, good job by Andy DeBrino looking up the track and, avoiding that. But these lappers came into play in the last lap.
Yeah, Bryce Prince getting through on the inside. Hayden Gillam making easy work. But there was no stopping the 23. Another win and another 25 points. And he heads to Brainerd in a couple of weeks' time with an extended lead. He gives a little thumbs up to the team. And of course, let's give credit to the team as well. This is a brand new team, as you've said. It's not easy to go racing at any level, let alone in MotoAmerica, and they've now won 3 races on the bounce.
I mean, the team came together late, but they've hired a lot of people that are really good and a lot of people that's got good experience, and I think that's really paid off.
Yes, surround yourself with the right people. Let's have a look then at the results from this opening race as Corey Alexander gets the accolades from the team. The fans will have enjoyed that. Alexander, Bryce Prince and Hayden Gillam are your podium finishers. Travis Wyman gets a solid 4th. Bobier, as you said, gets the better of Brandon Pash. That's a fight that's going to rage for the rest of the year. Looking forward to seeing how that develops. DeBrino, Danilo Lewis and Jeremy Coffey gets his first top 10 of the season. Yeah,
and it's just cool to see Ezra and Brandon, you know, just so close to the podium. Now they can see it.
Absolutely. Talking of the podium, Greg Kramer is down there, and I'm sure he is with a very ecstatic and elated Corey Alexander.
And Corey indeed making his way over. He's been doing lots of celebrating, runs over to the other side. And we'll grab him as soon as he gets done. Obviously, a dominant win. And when he pulled in here, the whole place erupted. There's no question about that. He's coming back over now, and he's even doing a little bit of a jig coming over. He's so excited about how this one unfolded. So we're going to walk around here. Hey, Corey. Tell you what, dominant run. I mean, a great launch and just checked out. Put your stamp on it early, and that's what you wanted to do, obviously. 3 wins in a row. I think that's a first for you in this category for sure. Boy, what a great day.
I think it's 4. I think it's 4 in a row, actually.
That could be.
Either way. Yeah, my guys, you know, yesterday wasn't easy like it was at the Ridge for us. We had to do a lot of work. Richie, Tim, Jesse, DJ, Steve, John, and Olin, just everybody from the whole Tyler Cycle Riders GMC racing team. We definitely had to get the bike sorted out to get to that pace, but you know, I didn't really know what was going to happen. I just went out and just tried to keep myself calm. Honestly, I've been working on my riding a lot with my riding coach, Jason Pridmore, and just trying to get myself to calm down a little bit, and the speed ends up coming a little bit easier that way. So, but yeah, hats off to everybody that's supporting us. Riders GMC, the whole family at home, Hudson Valley Motorcycles. My whole family surprised me here from New York last night, which was actually this morning. I walked out of my hotel room and they're sitting there. So I thought maybe my concussion came back or something for a second there. I was like, oh no, what's going on? But yeah, really happy to have them here, and the rest of the New York crew with Prestige Services Group, FA Madden Painting, JLS Mechanical. Moliko came on board this weekend with their awesome tire pressures and tire pressure gauges, and just. I just want to keep winning. That's all we're focused on, and thanks to everybody. Kaylin, my dad at home, he couldn't be here for this one, but just everybody, it's amazing.
Well, you woke up thinking you were having a dream, seeing visions of your family. That turns out to be real. You end up in the box after a dominating run. Tell you what, you got to give some thanks to this BMW here. This thing, once you got it dialed in, it was hooked up.
Yeah, you know, it's a bummer Travis couldn't be up here with me. That's our goal as a team. We want to be 1-2 every weekend, and you know, I'm not sure what happened with him back there, if he had an issue or whatever the case is. But yeah, that's the BMW, the package so far. Michael Kiley, everyone at Tyler Cycle has given us just such an amazing opportunity, and we're here making the most of it. So thanks, everyone.
Absolutely. Make some noise for your winner here, folks. Wow, absolutely fantastic. All right, we're going to move right over here to Bryce Prince. And Bryce, when we were on the grid, you talked about this was an opportunity being a one-off to really make a statement here. Statement made, man. What a great ride. You fended off some serious pressure when Hayden was closing up at the end. Just a great run.
Yeah, you know, man, I just can't thank these guys enough, man. I'm so emotional and excited for everything, and I build all my own stuff. I built this bike a week ago, the engine. I do everything on my own, and just to come out here and be able to put it on the box, I mean, I just can't even believe it. I'm lost for words, but I just got to thank Yamaha Champions Riding School, the BPR Yamaha team, both of them for stepping up and making this even possible, and Riders Law Racing as well for coming on board. And it's just been great to come back here in the MotoAmerica paddock. You know, I have a career in a dealership now and have a lot of other stuff going on, but I still love motorcycles and love being able to come out here and support people and be able to ride myself when I can. And just, you know, what a memorable weekend, that's for sure. So just got to thank everybody. All you guys, cannot thank you enough. So.
Well, when you're a true independent like that, the crew that comes in and helps makes it all the more special for you. One hell of a ride. Congratulations. Look forward to seeing you around a bit more.
Yeah, thank you. We got some more races today, so we'll see what happens.
All right, well done, my friend. Congratulations. Let's head over here now and find Mr. Hayden Gillam. And boy, I'll tell you, Hayden, what a ride you put on. honestly came after a little bit of an off start, but man, you fought your way back. Obviously, maybe a lost opportunity there with that start, but no give up.
Yeah, I'm about tired of having to fight my way back through the pack and try and catch these guys. Corey's riding too good to be able to give him that much time at the beginning of the race, and so yeah, we're gonna have to figure something out. You know, we're a little short-handed on my crew this weekend. I got 2 guys working on 2 bikes, so they're running back and forth. Mark and Rob they're working their butts off, and you know, to be able to put the bike up here on the podium in 3rd is a good thing for them and for the whole Disrupt Racing Infinity Fall Protection for us, our team, and for Jesse and Danny and my wife and my baby are here, and my grandpa made the trip out from Kentucky, so it's good to be up here for them. You know, obviously I want to be a little bit closer. We still got a lot of racing left, not too far back from Corey, but once we get this thing figured out, we'll be good to go.
Well, you're showing some real speed, certainly 1-lap qualifying stuff. So, and in that race, you fought your way back up, came from 6th up into 3rd. So the pace is there. You just got to work a couple of little glitches out.
Yeah, I just got to get off the line better and get those first couple laps going a little bit faster, and from there we'll be okay. We just got to get the beginning of the race figured out.
Absolutely. Well, folks, a little bit of an ejected podium here. Give some noise to Hayden Gillum. That was one heck of a comeback ride. Qualifying was just stellar. What an amazing podium. Corey Alexander, Bryce Prince, and Hayden Gillum. That's your box.
Well, there we can see our top 3 riders, Corey Alexander, Bryce Prince, and Hayden Gillum. 3 manufacturers. The podium is about to get underway. Lots of stories in that one. What was your highlight?
I think just, you know, Hayden Gillum, just knowing that, you know, whatever that problem is off the start, they need to do a track day or something and try to figure out whatever that is, if it's clutch or electronics, because you know, he's right, he's got the speed, but he can't spot Corey that much time early on in the race. So hopefully they can get that sorted out so we can see this battle go down to the end of the year. Yeah, and again, I want to correct myself as well. I was saying it was 3 on the bounce. It certainly was 3 on the bounce, but it was also 4 on the bounce because Corey got the win on the Sunday in Road America in Wisconsin. So it was 4 on the bounce. So good job. There's Hayden Gillum on the box. Bryce Prince also on the box, and I'm sure the biggest cheer down there in the podium and the Parc Fermé area is going to be for that guy, the number 23. He wins his 4th race on the bounce. He holds up the trophy and his helmet. Big smiles for Corey Alexander and an extended lead in the championship. Well, if you enjoyed that, you need to stay with us on MotoAmerica Live Plus. There's a lot more to come on track and off it. We're going to take a small commercial break. We'll be back with Supersport after this.
MotoAmerica Supersport coverage is sponsored by Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series.